I still put it solidly in the that's noticeable, but it's still better to be able to hear myself than to not be able to hear myself. So that's kind of where I stand on that one. Hey there, music maker. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you will know that I am a huge fan of the brand Xvive. Xvive has sent me a few bits of gear over the last couple years. First, their wireless electric guitar system, which I love and use every day in my teaching. Then next, they sent their U8 wireless acoustic guitar system, which you may have seen a review of. This is now part of my acoustic rig. I take this to every gig and play through that, as well as my Shirtler microphones, so love this one. Today, we have a piece of gear that I have been looking to review for Xvive as soon as it came out. We've got the U45 in-ear wireless monitor system. The U45 system is an updated version of Xvive's original wireless in-ear monitor system, which I've had the chance to use and absolutely loved. My pal Andra Kozak actually uses their in-ear wireless monitors, and we used them for a recording session that we did in Sweden together last year. Worked beautifully. I love the sound quality of everything, and I'm really excited to dive into their new 5.8 gigahertz version. The last version worked on the 2.4 gigahertz band for wireless technology. This one, 5.8. So for today's gear demo, I am going to be using this wireless in-ear monitor system on my Shirtler Jam amplifier, along with my Xvive U8 wireless acoustic guitar microphone on my Calling. I use this Jam amplifier kind of as like a miniature PA for a lot of my smaller gigs, so this is the actual rig that I would be using in a coffee house or small venue type setting. So this will likely be a good setup to demo for anyone out there that's using it in similar applications. Before we go ahead and dive into the unboxing, let's take a look at some of the features that we've got here on this system. So Xvive says this is a 5.8 gigahertz true diversity wireless system. Solid RF connection over 100-foot range. We'll test that one out. Up to 110 dB signal to noise ratio, provides clear, detailed audio at any volume. High resolution 24-bit / 48 kilohertz audio. 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz frequency response, so definitely within the human range of hearable frequencies. Dynamic range of 110 dB, less than 5 milliseconds latency. That's something I'm going to be interested to really check out too, because a lot of these systems you can hear a noticeable delay, but 5 milliseconds, that should be good. 6 wireless channels, so if you're running into some interference or you don't want to run into interference, we've got some options here. 5 hours of battery life. Luckily, I don't play 5-hour gigs. Provides smooth frequency response with any in-ear monitors or headphones. And then mono balanced XLR or mono unbalanced TS output. Sweet. So you can plug this into a 1/4 inch or an XLR. I think that's going to be something that actually is kind of a make or break for me, because on my Shirtler amp, luckily I have an XLR DI out, but a lot of you may not. A lot of the outputs on amplifiers or boards that you're using are 1/4 inch. So this one provides all the options you're going to need there. With that being said, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. As always, very premium feel to the Xvive products. The unboxing experience is always pleasurable here. Let's pull this bad boy out of here. Junk in the trunk. That box over there, which I don't think I have. Alright, so we're getting through all of our fixins here in the box. We've got our user manual. So when we open up the box, this is what we're kind of left with here. Got all the pieces that you need. So we've got our XLR to 1/4 inch converter there. We have our transmitter. And then our belt clip receiver. I love the feel of Xvive products. I've said this enough. There are some plastic parts on here, but the bulk of everything, like the housings, are metal. Yeah, I feel like this clip-on unit here is built to withstand some abuse, which I think is really awesome. So, yeah, we've got our transmitter and our receiver here. Let's figure out how to power these bad boys on. So there's just a teeny on-off switch on the top of the receiver there. That's cool. Turn that off to save some battery. And let's see how to turn this transmitter on. It may be dead in the box, so I may have to charge this, meaning we're going to have to take a pause. So I'm not seeing anything light up, which is telling me that this bad boy is dead. Let's go ahead and at least plug it in here to my computer so we can charge it up while I figure out the rest of my rig here. As with most of their products, I love that Xvive sends you a USB cable that allows you to plug both the receiver and the transmitter in at the same time. So we've got this kind of dual USB-C dealio here. So let me plug this in. USB ports back here. I'll be back in a sec. All right, we're going to let that bad boy charge up for a little while, and in the meantime, we'll head through the rest of the unboxing experience here. So it looks like they actually give you a little, yeah, sweet little travel bag to put everything in. Does it have a logo on it? Yes, it does. So we've got our Xvive travel bag right there to keep your transmitter and receiver all safe. Fits in there nice and neat. I don't think there's anything else in the box, so let me go grab some headphones to plug into this thing. So we're going to be testing out the U45 system with my CCZ Harmony in-ear monitors, but I would really love to try out the Xvive T9s someday. So let's go ahead and get these things plugged into the receiver. Then we'll check on the charging status of the transmitter and see if we can get this thing up and running. Okay, so the transmitter all charged up here, or at least charged up enough for us. I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the DI out on my Schertler amplifier, get my whole rig set up, and we'll see you back in 2 seconds. All right, we're getting signal through the amp here now. Okay, I can hear some hissing now. I just plugged in the in-ear monitors. Let me slowly roll up my DI out to see if it's coming in. Hey, there we go. Sweet. All right, so I have signal coming through the U45 right now. I'm noticing some humming as I get it close to the transmitter on my U8 system, so that might be something to consider. Maybe I just need to switch channels, but it was only when I was kind of like crossing over it here, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. I'm just going to pick for a second, kind of observe the sound quality. Sound quality coming through is really nice. I do notice a touch of latency, and I think that's pretty common to most of these systems that I've used like this before. It's barely noticeable, but it's there. So I will say that there's like a touch of latency. I can feel the sound coming off of my hands just a second before I can hear it in my ears. But honestly, it doesn't bother me while I'm playing. I still put it solidly in the that's noticeable, but it's still better to be able to hear myself than to not be able to hear myself. So that's kind of where I stand on that one. Just gonna play for a second more, maybe adjust some levels. Nice. Well, I am getting some great tones through this system already, folks. I'm really impressed by the fidelity. Like I said, there's a little bit of latency that's noticeable, but it's nothing that's killing me or affecting my playing here. Let me just take a gander at the manual here and make sure that there's any hidden features on this bad boy that we have yet to discover. Okay, so on the transmitter, there are some LED lights. So if the LED is off, it's 100 to 30%. If it's solid red, 29 to 11%. Flickering red, less than 10%. I love that, actually. Let's go ahead and check that out. Well, the LED is off on mine right now, which means that it's somewhere between 30 and 100% charge. That's really cool. Let's check out what they say about the receiver here. Channel status indicates the selected channel. So we didn't talk about this, but the channels are actually really easy to set and select on this thing. So if you grab the receiver right here, all you have to do is push the button that's in the center of the channel selector wheel here. You might be able to see that a little better over on this one. So all I need to do, push the button, there it goes. And now I can't hear anything. So let me go push the button over here. Awesome. And I just switched to channel 2. Everything's coming through loud and clear. Now let's check out what these LEDs indicate on the receiver here. So 6 and 7, we've got RF status. The light to the right here on the receiver tells us whether we're connected to the transmitter or not. So if it's flashing, then the signal connection is experiencing some interference. If it's solid, then it's on. And then the LED to the left is a power indicator, and it's the same kind of status. So if it's off, that means you've got 30 to 100%. If it's red, 29 to 11, and then flickering, it's below that. I love the simplicity of this system. You can't really screw this up, folks. Like, anyone can figure this out, and I think this is great for anyone, not just a gigging musician. You know, wireless in-ear monitors actually have like a lot of good applications, like not on the gig. I use them like, say that I'm recording and I don't have headphones that extend a long way. That's exactly how Andra and I used these headphones when we were recording in Sweden. So I think that's a great application to use these things for. You can also use this to just like beam anything off of a 1/4 inch output or an XLR out. So if you've got an audio source that you need to hear something from and you don't want to be tethered to it, this thing is a perfect system. Let's go ahead and look this up online. Yeah, great. So on Amazon, the Xvive U45 system goes for $269 US right now. Let's see what Xvive says on their website. I would definitely suggest going to the Xvive website and checking some of this stuff out, by the way, because they have a lot of information here. Great website. A couple different retailers here. So let's see what Sweetwater has it for. $269.99. Yeah, so $269.99 across the board here, folks. And to me, you know, if we look at a comparable in-ear monitor system, let's just go to sweetwater.com and see what they recommend for in-ear monitors. Okay, so I'm looking at our legacy brands, Shure and Sennheiser. They've kind of been the leaders in this market for a while, right? So we have a digital in-ear monitoring system. We got a transmitter, receiver, little belt pack, all that stuff from Shure. It's the PSM 300, $989. Okay, I'm seeing some systems here. You know, honestly, some systems that look like you get what you pay for here. So we've got some sub $200 systems. There are a couple competitors in this price range on Sweetwater. We have, you know, a couple different names here. But after the Xvive system, we're jumping up into the like $400 range for anything that I could recommend to you. Even something from Samson here, which is kind of a budget-friendly brand, right? Their in-ear monitoring system, $550. And I guarantee you, like, if we're looking at the kind of specs here, so this says 300-foot line-of-sight transmission range, you know. But let's be honest, you know, 100-foot is what Xvive guarantees us here, which we have yet to test out. I need to figure that out. But I think, honestly, that's overkill, right? What I've seen a lot of people doing, say that your soundboard is a little far away from where you want to have the wireless transmitter, just run an XLR cable off of the output and then run it directly up to your rig on stage and just sit it down next to everything, kind of like in a safe spot on the ground. Then you're never too far away from the receiver and transmitter setup, and you will likely not lose signal. My friend Kevin Neidig, an amazing flat picker, winner of the Pickin' for the Prize competition from last year, actually recommended that to me, and that's a really pro tip that has definitely served me well. So let's check this out. I am going to walk upstairs and see if this thing cuts in and out or not. And hopefully the wireless guitar mic works well too. So let's check this out. Here we go. Testing the wireless monitors. Want to be in my YouTube video? I'm testing the wireless signal range. I can still hear it. Can you hold the phone for me? Let's follow me down the hallway. Can you do that? Okay. Stop here. So I'm getting a little bit of wireless cutting in and out. And it might be the microphone, but yeah, so we've got a solid green light there, and it's pretty solid. So I'm gonna walk down to the basement. Thanks for holding the camera, Quinn.
You're welcome.
My little pink bear. I mean, I've got a floor between me and the transmitter right now, and definitely was 100 feet away before anything started to cut out. So I think we can trust Xvive on their assessment of the scenario here. So that's kind of awesome to me. All right, switching back to the real cam. So there you have it. I experienced a little bit of cutting out when I got to the back end of my house, but like I said, I was well over 100 feet away. It could have been the microphone. I didn't see the LED indicating any interference kind of flickering on the unit itself. So I'll be interested to try this one out live when I'm doing, you know, backflips and stage dives and all that kind of stuff. But I think for the money, $269.99, it sits squarely in between something that I would never buy on kind of the Sweetwater website and something that I would have to save up for years to buy. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for a wireless in-ear monitor system and you've got $270 to burn, this is the one. Based upon everything that I've seen from Xvive up to now, I've been using their wireless guitar system for over 2 years. I've been using this wireless microphone for close to half a year. Everything has stood up to the test of time. It's all high quality gear. It can take a beating. It sounds great. This product just falls directly in line with everything else that I've seen from Xvive. So to close this video out, I recommend this. And like I've said before on the channel, if there's a piece of gear that I see in the studio that I don't recommend, you don't see the video. The fact that this is up on my YouTube channel means that this is a piece of gear that I can recommend to anyone, and I definitely would. So if you are interested in your own U45 wireless in-ear monitor system, go ahead and check out the links below in the description. We've got some to Xvive's website where they can steer you to other platforms. But if you hit that Amazon link right there at the top, that's a great way to support the channel by buying a piece of gear that you would have bought anyway. All right, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of demo and unboxing of the U45 wireless in-ear monitor system from Xvive. Thanks so much to the folks at Xvive. I was not paid by them for this review or anything. They just sent me this gear and asked for my honest opinion, and you just got it. All right, my friend, thank you so much for checking this video out, but don't go anywhere. We got more great content right here.